Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum friends. This is me, your English instructor Muhammad Hasnain, once again with a new video. This is a part 2 of the infamous topic that everybody talks about. A lot of people commented me about this topic, active voice and passive voice. So this is the part 2 and there are going to be 3 parts. Number 1, as you people know, it was about active voice, that we talked about active voice, that what is active voice, which sentences are of active voice and how simple active voice is. Now here comes the tricky part. We have got the passive voice. This is a bit tricky, so we are going to make it easier for you today. So what is passive voice? Now in active voice, the subject directly talks to the object, but here we can call it, he is changing the words. He is kind of like, you can call it, making it difficulter for us to understand. Like in Urdu we call it ghuma pera ke bolna. So he is doing that kind of thing. He is trying to trick the type of person, but this sentence has its own meaning and this sentence is used in many cases. Now if you use it like this in non-serious places, like for example, I am making an example of this, so you won't understand it, but when you are using this in real life, you will understand that how does passive voice work. So you will understand it, but still I will try my level best to make you people understand that what is passive voice and how passive voice works. So today passive voice is the topic, so let's get into the topic. First of all, as you guys remember, in the last topic we had this thing we had. So as you guys remember, in the last video we had a method from which we understood that how this worked. So in that method the arrow was going this way, and in this one the arrow is going this way. In the last one there was subject was here, object was here, and action was in its own place. As you guys remember, in the last video the arrow was actually like this, and the subject was in the place of object and the object was in the place of subject. But in here it is the opposite. Action is in its own place and the other two of them exchange their places, and now the arrow doesn't go like that, the arrow comes like that. So in the last video we remember that we had a sentence, the sentence that I talked a lot about, that was I love English. Subject, verb plus object, this was the structure of it. But in this one, English is loved by me. This is how it goes. So as you guys remember how we do it, object, as you guys can see, object. Secondly, loved. Loved is an action. And the important thing in passive voices, you will use the third form of the verb. For example, the third form, love, loved, loved. The third form, loved. So tear, torn, torn. So torn. English is torn by me. English's legs are broken by me. So actually that's not a sentence, but I just made it randomly for making you people enjoy that. So English is loved by me. Me is a subject, loved is the verb, third form of the verb, and English is the object. So for example, we can make other sentences. My mother is loved by me. Cricket is loved by me. You guys understand this is very easy, no need to take tension. And this might seem a bit complex, that arrow is going like this, the arrow is going like this, ye arrow yahan ja raha hai, wahan ja raha hai. Itna complex nahi hai. This is not that much complex that you think. This is just for clearing your mind. You don't need to write these kind of things in your paper. You don't need this. You have to just simply write, for example, I love my mother. My mother is being loved by me, or my mother is loved by me. Simple. And you just write, and if they are asking, so you can write the subject and the object, that definition of it. So no need to take tensions. This might seem complex in the first place, but practicing it will make everything easier. First of all, you have to keep this in mind, that I'm going to do like this, then this sentence, but practice. I did 4 years of practice, and now when I talk, I don't need to even think that what am I talking. Is it subject or is it object? Is it passive voice or active voice? Yes, active voice can be learned from board, but passive voice is a thing that you cannot understand easily by board. You have to practice it, and then you will be able to understand the difference between both of them and when to use it. Now a lot of comments also ask that when to use passive voice and when to use active voice. That's in the separate video, the part 3. But I'm going to answer one question among all of them, that which one should be used in mostly. So I would say that you should use the active voice mostly. This is the most common used and this is the most convenient way of talking directly to a person. But there are a few cases where you have to talk in passive voice, and we are going to describe all of those cases in the part 3 of this video. So this is all for today's video. Thank you so much and Allah Hafiz. Have a nice